guys, what's going on, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Hope if you're new, and I'm really excited that you're joining me today. Obviously, this is not my typical Pocket Filofax. Instead, today I wanted to walk you guys through my Louise Carmen. This is in the Roadbook size, and I've had it since my 25th birthday, which was back in June of this year. I got it for myself as a birthday gift, and I've been using it every single day since then. So I have a pretty good idea of what I think about it by now, and I thought I would just kind of walk you guys through it, give you my thoughts, show you how I have it set up, and also just give you guys some advice in case this is something that you are thinking about purchasing. I've got pros and I've got cons, and I'm ready to share them all with you today. If you're new here, hello, hi, welcome. My name is Hope, and I'm very excited that you're joining me today. I normally create content around my Pocket Filofax, but this is kind of like a little outlier video since I love journaling and planning in general. So today we're going to be talking all about my latest edition, and again, this is the Louise Carmen in the Roadbook size. I got it in the color plum, and then I also got this charm with it. It's like a green, purple, and maroon stone, and then the other three charms you see, I have one on the front here and then two on the side. Those are ones that I just added myself. I just used little jewelry findings to attach them. I've got a dragonfly and a little turtle on the side, and then also this little locket on the front. And if you guys hear any commotion going on in the background throughout this video, my apologies. That would be my three cats. They are currently running around. All three of them decided to get zoomies literally seconds after I started this video, so they're going to be playing, but they've got toys and each other to entertain themselves for hopefully the next 20 minutes or so, and then I'm probably going to hang out with them for a little bit because I can tell they just woke up from a nap and they are very needy right now. But okay, let's go ahead and open her up. Obviously, I already have some wear on the front and on the back of this journal. It's completely normal. I actually really love how leather journals patina, and so I'm really excited to see kind of how this develops over the next few months and years. It's currently September, and like I said, I got this in the middle of June, and this is pretty much what it's been looking like. When you open it up, I got this traveler's notebook like organizer off of eBay. I think I got it for like $15 or something plus shipping, but I would really recommend checking out eBay for any sort of inserts and stuff for traveler's notebooks and things like Louise Carmen. This is honestly the most expensive journal I own, and so when I was originally getting it, I thought about getting like the organizer that they sell, but it was already really expensive, and I figured I could just find or even make one myself later on, and that is where this one came in. Again, this one said it was from Traveler's Company, and it has a bunch of little card holders on the side, a bigger pocket here, and then a zipper pouch. Obviously, it's really easy to add. All you do is put it through one of the strings on the inside. So that was really easy to do. Inside of it, I have a $2 bill. I put this in honestly every single one of my journals that have any sort of pocket to them. Of course, you guys know I have mine in my Pocket Filofax as well. That one stays kind of in the top left over here. So at this point, it almost feels like a tradition, and now I just add them to everything. I also keep some washi tape in here. This is actually really cool. I wrapped a bookmark and then a piece of wood that my boyfriend gave me with a bunch of different washi tape. If you are looking for a really easy way to travel with your washi tape, but you don't want to bring like an extra pouch around with you, I would really recommend doing this. It was super easy. It took a little bit of time to kind of actually wrap everything around, but all I did was wrap them maybe 10 or so times around the piece of cardboard or the piece of paper, and now I have all sorts of washi tape to choose from, and they lay really flat, which is perfect for when I want to bring it around with me. But again, like I said, I don't want to bring rolls and rolls of all sorts of washi tape. So I've got that in there, and then inside of the pouch is typically where I keep my pen, and then I also have some sticker sheets and these cute little recipe cards, and that's pretty much what I keep in there. And now we are officially on to the notebook portion of my journal. I have a total of 5 different notebooks in here. Each of them serves a different purpose, and so I'll kind of walk you guys through how I've been using them. But this first one here is my daily discoveries. Whenever I first start using a new journal, usually for the first few months or so, I keep little sticky notes describing what I want that notebook to be used for. It just makes it easier to get adjusted to it as I settle into a new journal or notebook system. So this one is called my daily discoveries discoveries, and it's essentially exactly that. It's anything I discover during that day. It could be things I want to remember, a song I don't want to forget, it could be grocery lists, it could be really anything you might come across of in a day. So let me see if I can show you guys an example. This one was from June 9th, 2025. This was my first journal entry in this notebook, and it was actually when I was on the plane to go to an event. I wrote down that the plane took off at 11:11 from gate E11, and I was going to return on my birthday, which is June 11th, and I thought all of the 11s in that was just kind of insane. I wrote down everything I wanted to create while I was on the trip, and then I also wrote down just some like life lessons that I felt like I was learning, and one of those lessons was to learn, invent, and implement ways to make every day feel like a vacation. I asked myself, what about a vacation makes it feel so special? And to answer my own question, I wrote down 7 different things that I really just wanted to remember, and that's kind of a good example of how I use my daily diaries page. It's not only things I want to do, like things I wanted to create while I was on that trip, or little memories like when the plane took off. It's also about writing down things that I learned throughout the day. I kind of view it as my own version of a commonplace notebook, but kind of with my own twist on it, since I've tried to use commonplace notebooks in the past and I just can't keep up with organizing it. This has been kind of like a happy medium for me. Also, while we're here, I figured I would just share what I wrote down here because I think it's a little kind of tidbit of advice that might benefit someone out there. Again, I asked myself the question, what about a vacation makes it feel special? And to answer myself, I said, number 1, there's so much to do and see that sitting on my phone feels like a waste. Number 2, I make an effort. I elevate every experience because I'm on vacation. Number 3, I look at pretty things and get outside. Number 4, I unplug and capture moments on camera. Number 5, I make the most out of my time. Number 6, I deeply appreciate every moment. And number 7, I fill every moment and savor it all. I wrote this all down in my daily discoveries, and I later did a journal page about it later on in this same notebook system. Hello, Bug. Everyone meet Bug. This is my baby guy. Okay, he's on my lap now. I think he's gonna chill here for a little bit. But anyways, the point of all that was just to share with you guys how I use my first notebook, and that is my daily discoveries / daily diaries. I recently went to San Francisco and I got this postcard, and so I figured I would just kind of attach it right here. It was a super fun trip and I really want to remember it, so putting it right here means I'm going to be able to get to see it every single day. Moving on to journal number 2, this is my junk journal. As you can see on the pink sticky note, I wrote down memory keeping / junk journal in one. I really like to take my junk journal up a level and also include little bits of memory keeping in it. So like over here, I wrote down life lately. I wrote thrifting, coffee, new teas, and slow days. I wrote down we got chickens. This was one of the water quart jars I got for them for that. I also have random bits and bobs in here. I think that this entry was from around the time of my birthday or so. More just random things. I haven't finished a lot of these spreads. Sometimes what I do is I just kind of find colors that I like that go together, and then I kind of build on it as I get more trash or junk journal things to add in. But yeah, that's pretty much how I use the second notebook in my journal. Ooh, I get to add this sticker. Like I said, I went to San Francisco and I always get like little vinyl stickers to add to my journal or planner. This was the one I went with. I'm either gonna add it there, or I could add it to the back of this one, or I could add it to the back of this one. And this one doesn't have anything yet, so okay, it's gonna go back here. Okay, and the third notebook I have in here is for my morning pages. I'm putting this here just because some of the stuff I write is personal, but essentially what I do in morning pages is exactly what it sounds like. Every morning when I wake up, I sit down and I write down at least one page of just my stream of consciousness. Anything I might be thinking about, things that have been bothering me, things that I'm excited about, things I want to get done, or even just concepts or ideas that I'm interested in. And also a little Polaroid of me and my 2 besties at her graduation party. On the back of this notebook, I taped a playing card just because I'm from Vegas, and whenever I see playing cards, it weirdly makes me think of home. Now the third notebook is my idea garden. This is where I do my brain dumps. I write down things I am curious about. I write down ideas I have. I write down full fleshed out concepts of things I want to create. Honestly, any idea I have goes into this notebook. On the front of it, I have this little stamp. I have this quote that I cut out of a magazine. It says, I like thinking big. I always have. To me, it is very simple. If you're going to be thinking anyway, you might as well think big. And I just loved that. And I felt like it was the perfect thing to have on the cover of my idea journal. Here's an example of what I keep inside. side. So on my 25th birthday, I think I was on the plane or something, I wrote down things that I wanted to have in my 25th year. Also, everyone, meet Mitzi. This is, yes, another one of my cats. The only one who isn't here right now is Ori because she's still in her little kennel thing because she's still recovering from her surgery. But yeah, anyways, like I was saying, on my 25th birthday, I took some time to essentially write down things that I wanted to have in my 25th year around the sun. This was basically what I came up with. I wrote down letting go of what has held me back, seeking the good, filling every moment with intention and gratitude, and then if I felt like one was kind of broad, I did a little line and then wrote something more specific, and then it essentially just built on itself from there. So that's one example of something I have in my idea garden. Another example is this page, my year of 25. I wrote down things to let go of and then things to embrace. Oh, Bug's going behind my computer right now. Also in here, I have like my home renovation idea list, like my dream home. If I could make it like right in front of me, this is what I would include. Just kind of stuff like that. My idea journal is really a place for me to collect all of the ideas that happen, and then I can organize them through further planning in things like my planner or something like that. So that is what I use this notebook for. And then finally, the last notebook in my journal is my nightly reflection. I also have down here that it's also a daily summary. So this is where I write down how my day went, what I thought about it. I write down random things like if I ate anything, if I saw anyone, any funny moments that might have happened, really anything like that. That is going to go in my nightly reflections. I really like the flow of how I have my notebooks laid out. So at the bottom here, I have my, are we gonna lay down? If you guys have cats, you know the rule. If they choose to lay down somewhere, you aren't allowed to move them. So he is going to be here while we finish out today's video until he decides he's done. But like I was saying, I just really like how I kind of organized all the notebooks. So it starts with my, morning pages and daily discoveries, and then it kind of goes into my idea garden and my nightly reflections at the back. I feel like that layout's been really nice because it just allows me to really work in my journal in a way that feels really organic throughout the day. No, we're not gonna bite my journal. And yeah, so that's pretty much how I have my Louise Carmen notebook set up. Now I figured we could get into some pros and cons, and this is probably a good time to chat about it because Bug is going to be hanging out here with us anyways. But I really just wanted to address a couple of things. I know that this is definitely a more pricey journal. It's definitely the most expensive journal I've ever owned. And I've seen some discourse online where people chat about if they get this journal, like specifically the Louise Carmen one, that it's going to make them into a journaler and it's magically going to be a habit that they start every day. And I just wanted to quickly note that if you are new to journaling and you are looking for like a journal just to start off with, you definitely do not need this to start out. This is really niche. Like if you are somebody who's extremely passionate about journals and you want to experience different systems, different layouts, then I would say that maybe it's something you could consider. But because of the price tag of it, I don't want you to think that this is going to magically make you a journaler. There are plenty of other systems and notebooks out there. You can literally get any notebook from Goodwill for like 99 cents and it would still do the same thing. At the end of the day, it really is just a piece of paper and a pen that you can write with. And so by no means is this a necessary journal at all. But for me, because I love journaling and it's a super big passion of mine, I was just really kind of curious about it. I've always wanted a leather cover like this, but I kind of went back and forth. I think there's one other brand, I want to say it's Paper Republic, that also sells them. But the difference is Paper Republics don't wrap around in this way. Like see how you can't see the sides of the journals or of the notebooks? Paper Republic kind of covers to here, and then I'm pretty sure you're able to see the sides out the side, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna pop two different photos up on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about, but I really love the look of like complete closure, and so that's ultimately why I ended up going with Louise Carmen. I used a traveler's notebook in the past. It was like an off-brand one I think I found on Amazon, and I loved it. I kept one of my Hobonichi Techno Weeks in there as well, which I could also always add into this system if I ever wanted to. So I was just saying that because I'm definitely not new to this type of notebook system where you use these little strings to kind of attach journals within one system. So I kind of already knew what I was going to want before going into it, and the reason I'm telling you this is because this is absolutely an investment piece. I do not plan on ever buying another one. I don't plan on ever buying a different size. This should be my only leather journal cover like this honestly forever. And that's exactly why I got it, because I do want this one thing to be my forever. I want it to last a long time. And so investing in it in that way, I kind of justified it because it was like a lifelong purchase, not just something that I'm going to use for a little bit and then eventually stop. So I would say if you are looking at the Louise Carmen Roadbook and you're kind of questioning the price tag, there are definitely other options out there that are much cheaper and probably will give you the same experience. It really is just completely preference, and it's whether or not you want one brand over another brand, and it just comes down to that. Function wise, you can absolutely find something else that does the exact same thing, so I don't want you guys to think that this is the only option or only brand for you. Just for me, it happened to be the one I chose and the one that had a design I liked the best. On that note, I also wanted to mention that I saw a ton of people online actually making their own, and I would say if you have the time and ability to do so, then it would be a super fun project to work on. I kind of got this for myself as a birthday gift, like I mentioned, and so to me I was like, you know what, it's worth it. I think I'm going to use it all the time. It was definitely a want more than it was a need, and that was just kind of my personal experience with it. I feel like if I were to try to make it myself, there was kind of a chance that it wasn't going to come out exactly how I wanted, and I knew that if I got this one I was going to love it. So for me that was kind of the trade-off, but I am kind of curious to see if I would be able to make it myself. I do love a good craft, and so I think it might be something I try out in the future maybe, but since I already have this one, I think I might pass. But if you like the look of this and not the price, definitely go and try to make it yourself. I think that it could be a really fun craft to work on, and then you'd be able to say that I made it myself, which I think is a really cool thing to be able to say. I also wanted to mention that this red journal here is from Moleskine, and you add it in the exact same way. The other black ones are from Louise Carmen, and they just came with the Roadbook. But I would say an advantage to making it yourself is that if I wanted to size it to like a smaller one, I could. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on making it yourself or buying it, and also a little bit of information on the price. If I ever went back in time and asked myself, would I purchase this again? I think my answer would be yes. I do really love it. I honestly have no complaints about it, other than maybe I wish there were pockets already on it. Especially for the price, I feel like it could have had just something, like, you know how the Filofax has organizers kind of built into it? I feel like that could have been nice, but obviously it wasn't a deal breaker for me just because I know things like this do exist. In terms of how much it can hold, I think it holds a great amount. Again, I've got 5 notebooks in here plus an organizer, and I could still probably fit more. I love the size, I love how it feels, I love how it's starting to patina. Everything about it is honestly exactly what I wanted, and I definitely don't regret the purchase. But if I'm looking at you and saying whether or not I would recommend you getting it, I would say it really does depend. If you feel like you can make it yourself, I would tell you to go try to make it yourself. Just because you'd be able to save yourself some money, it would be a fun thing to do, and you would effectively get the exact same thing and then also have it be handmade by you. Second option would maybe be to check out Etsy and see if there's anything maybe a little bit more affordable on there that's also handmade. It's hard because justifying this price is difficult unless it's something you're really interested in and you just kind of want it. That's really the only thing I have to say, is that price-wise, I think it was worth it for me, but it definitely might not be worth it for everybody. And so I think if you're on the fence about getting it, I would look at other options, try to make it yourself, and then if you at the end of the day are like, no, this is really the one I want, then at least you've looked at all the options and have decided that this is truly something you want and something you're going to use. And I feel like that's a good sign that if you bought it, you wouldn't regret it. But that is my full Louise Carmen tour, and also my thoughts on price, on use, and really just a little overview of how I've been using it, how I've been liking it. If you guys have any questions at all, definitely leave them down below in the comments and I will get back to you there. If I missed anything, or if you want any further information on what I think about this, just anything at all like that, just leave me a comment and I'll do my best to give you my most thought out answer, because again, like I said, it definitely is an investment piece, and I want to make sure that you guys are super informed and able to make the best decision possible when it comes to whether or not you want to get a journal like this. If you did enjoy this video, feel free to like and subscribe if you're new. I post new videos every single week, and I would absolutely love to have you here as a part of this community. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye guys.